This video is going to be a short video with the 30, 60, 90 special right triangles. My previous video did not have the tables, just like with my 45, 45, 90. I wanted to make sure that I had a video showing the table ways where we can use proportions. The table for the 30, 60, 90 is going to be 1 square root of 3 and 2 because we have a across from the 30, a square root of 3 across from the 60, and 2a across from the 90. So with the 60 here, we know this other one's going to be 30, and let's go ahead and look at what we need. With this one, because I do want to find both the shorter leg and the longer leg, I'm going to use the variables x and y, and I'm going to solve two different equations. So in the 30 column, across from the 30 is the x. In the 60 column, across from the 60 is y. And in the 90 column, across from the 90 is 14. So I'm going to start by solving for x. With my proportion, I'm going to have 1 over x is equal to the one that we have numbers for in both is going to be under the 90 column, 2 over 14. If you want to simplify that down to 1 over 7, you can, but you do not have to. This is a very quick cross multiply divide proportions. Cross multiply here, we're going to get 2x. Cross multiply, the other cross product is 14. We divide by 2. And we're going to come out with x equals 7. All right, let's take a look at y. With y, now we're done with the 30, 60, 90 column. We're going to do the 60 column, square root of 3 over y equals that 2 over 14 or the 1 over 7. We're just going to use that 2 over 14 for both equations. All right, we cross multiply here. We get 2y. Our other cross product, apples and oranges, we cannot multiply these together. It's just like having a 14 in a variable. We're going to place them right next to each other as 14 square root of 3. Get rid of the 2 next to the y by dividing both sides. Here, we do need to simplify this. 14 divided by 2 is 7, so we end up with 7 square root of 3. Let's take a look at the next one with the table. Go ahead and draw that in real quick. All right. Angle L is going to be in 30 degrees. So across from the 30-degree angle, we have 2 square root of 5. So in the 30 column, we put in 2 square root of 5. Across from the 60, we'll label as x. So in the 60 column, x. Across from the 90, the other one we're going to solve for, y. So place that in the 90 column. Okay, let's go ahead and solve for x. We're going to have 1 over 2 square root of 5. We're going to use that one on both of these because it's the one where we have a number in both the numerator and denominator. Then for x, it's going to be the square root of 3 over x. All right, cross products. This is just going to give us x. Our other cross product, again, we're going to do apples with apples, oranges with oranges. We're going to have to multiply. So we're going to have 2 square root of 5 times the square root of 3. We only have one whole number, but we have 2 radicals. Square root of 5 times the square root of 3 is the square root of 15. We are the 2 radicals, we're multiplying 2 prime radicands together, therefore the product of the square root of 15 will be simplified. All right, look at y. Again, I'm going to use the 1 over 2 square root of 5. And now we're going to set it equal to 2 over y. Cross multiply, y equals. Here we've got 2 times 2 square root of 5. So quite the opposite of the last one. Now we have 2 whole numbers, which will give us 4. And then we only have 1 radical, so we bring down that square root of 5. All right, next 2 problems. We've already got the table set up. Go ahead and pause it and get the table set up on your own. Here, angle L is our 30 degree, and we will be looking for the shorter leg and the hypotenuse. So across from the 30 is an x, so in the 30 column, x. Across from the 60 is y, so under the 60 column, 8. Sorry, across from the 60 is 8, so under the 60 column, place 8. And then across on the 90 is y, so that's the column we'll place the y in. All right, solving for x. We're going to have 1 over x equals, and then I use the 60 column in both, solving for x and y. We're going to have the square root of 3 over 8. When we do our cross product here, we're going to wind up with x times the square root of 3. So I'll just put the square root of 3x equals, this cross product is 8. To get rid of the radical in front of x, we need to divide both sides. Cancels on the left. Cannot have a radical in the denominator, so we have to rationalize. What I do is shove it and leave it. The numerator carries over. We're going to take that radical, we're going to shove it to the top. Then the leave it, we're going to take the radicand and leave it as a whole number in the bottom. 8 over 3 does not simplify without giving us a repeating decimal or even a decimal. Again, the whole point of simplifying radicals and keeping the radicals in the answer is to not have decimals. So we're going to leave this as 8 square root of 3 over 3. Now to solve for y. We're going to use the square root of 3 over 8 equals the 2 over y. And it doesn't matter if the square root of 3 over 8 is on the left or the right, okay? Does not matter. I just did it on the left this time because that's what I'm seeing up here. All right, let's go ahead and cross multiply. Here, we're going to wind up with the square root of 3y equals 8 times 2 is 16. Okay, get rid of that radical. Divide both sides by the square root of 3. Cancels on the left. Again, we cannot have that radical in the denominator, so bring your numerator over, shove the radical to the top, leave the radicand as a whole number in the bottom. Again, 16 over 3 does not simplify, so this is the final answer. All right, take a moment and pause and put the table in. Again, this one, they gave us the 60 degree. We need to know automatically the other small angle, the smallest angle is the 30. And we're looking for across from the 30. We'll label that as x. So x will go in the 30 column. Across from the 60, we'll label y. Place that in the 60 column. Across from the 90 is 4 square root of 3. Place it in the 90 column. Okay, let's go ahead and solve for x. Fraction bar equals fraction bar. We're going to have 1 over x is equal to the 2 over 4 square root of 3. Go through and we'll cross multiply. This becomes 2x. The other cross product, 4 square root of 3. And as always, we have that coefficient in front of the variable. Let's divide both sides by 2. And we're going to find ourselves able to divide 4 by 2, leaving our answer as 2 square root of 3 for x. Now on over here for y, I'm going to use that, over here, the y column, square root of 3 over y equals 2 over 4 square root of 3. All right, when we cross multiply here, we're going to get 2y. When we do the other cross product, we're going to wind up with 4 square root of 3 times the square root of 3. Something's going to happen here, okay? When we go through and we multiply these before we divide by that 2, we need to see what's going to happen. The 4 doesn't have another whole number to multiply with. So we're going to bring that down, and then we're going to end up with the radicals. Square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is going to give us the square root of 9. You need to have as many perfect squares as possible memorized because the square root of 9 is a perfect square. This actually becomes 4 times, remember there's an invisible multiplication there, times 3. Now that I've run out of room, we'll move it on over here. We wind up with 2y equals 12. Now we divide by the 2. So y is going to equal 6. I did not have enough room on this one. Okay, so be careful with those perfect squares. They pop up. They can pop up unexpectedly. Make sure you have those memorized. Okay, hopefully these tables helped out. Ask your teacher if you have any questions, or you can search YouTube for any of my other lessons on these or anybody else's.